Hey everyone. So as I've said in the past, I have lots of people on my social media that live with MS, have other chronic illnesses and a few disabilities. And one thing I've noticed over time is that quite a few people with chronic illness or disability refer to themselves as a spoonie. I never really understood what that meant. I just assumed that obviously it had something to do with their illness or disability. So I actually decided to look into it a little bit more so I could get a better understanding of what they were talking about. So when I looked into it, I came across some information on the internet. And so how this term started was there was a woman in 2003 who was living with lupus who did have her own website and would post blogs. And she talked about how she was with a friend one day who asked her to go through her daily routine living with lupus and how it kind of affected her. And so what she did is she actually used 12 spoons to measure the amount of activities in her day and how it affected her energy. And the whole point to using the spoons was just to have something tangible to show that obviously the more activities you do, the more energy you're going to use. And you don't want to use all of those spoons before the end of your day, or you're going to have to stop and recharge your energy, which somebody living with MS like myself or any sort of other chronic illness or disability totally can relate to that. If you do too many things in the first half of your day, you definitely usually have to take a break and recharge in order to keep going. I know I do. So it was kind of this way that she was showing that I really have to count my spoons based on my activities throughout the day so that I can make sure that I can go a full day without losing all of my energy. So it was kind of interesting reading that and finding out what it meant. And as I said, I feel like this is something that anybody with a chronic illness, a disability, a mental illness can relate to. If you have something wrong with you that really can affect the way your body feels, and a simple task can wear out your energy, you have to be very careful in what you do throughout the day. I know for myself that if I am out in the morning and I've been, let's say, grocery shopping or just doing some basic chores around the house, usually by the afternoon, my energy level is almost at a zero and I need to stop and recharge in order to get through the rest of the day. And I feel like that's why it makes it very difficult for people with an illness or a disability to, say, have a full-time job and go to work from 9 to 5, because it's really hard to be gone all day and be going all day without needing that break and needing to get that energy back. So I can definitely see where that comes from and how that makes sense. As I said, I didn't really know why people were using that term before. Now I understand where it comes from. And I mean, it was started in 2003, so a lot of people have been using this to describe their MS or other disease over that time. And so I hope that it's something that I could share with other people in case you were wondering what that meant. It's very hard to do things that you want to do when you're not feeling your best, and you really have to make sure you leave the time to give yourself a good rest before you can keep going, especially if you're out all day and have big plans. You don't want to have to stop what you're doing because you're feeling tired. Especially with this heat, now that the heat's really here, I'm sure a lot of people are being affected by it who are living with MS and other diseases. So as I said last year, just be careful, make sure you don't stay in the sun too long, and make sure you give yourself the time to recharge so that you're not overworked. So thank you for watching today's video, and have a great weekend.